All right, last question.
Mhm.
You recently spoke about you started the process of seeing a therapist, and it was an
Yeah.
interesting process. Talk to me about that.
Um, hmm. So it was, I just took the first step. It's kind of the second step because I tried this back when P passed away. And, the way I didn't like the way it went back then. It was, it was too many steps where I would have had to say things that I don't say to people and different people. Like, let me tell this shit to one person, two tops. You know what I'm saying? When it looked like it was going to be three, I got it. I got out of it. Right. But,
Or they were handing you off to other therapists, or what was the situation?
so it was the intake process, the same thing that I just experienced last week or whatever, right? But this process was you can see I'm long-winded with my answers and shit, right? So fucking this process took a couple of visits, and like after like the second or maybe third visit, and I'm real comfortable with this woman, right? I done told her shit that I won't say on camera, right? And she's like, she's getting moved or whatever, and she's going to hand me over to this other person. Hold on. This person ain't the actual therapist. This is another somebody else who going to want to catch up on it. I don't like it. I don't like it. And I was like, nah, it kind of discouraged me. But, so that was in 2015. Here we are 11 years later. You know what I'm saying? I've been living with, you know, all kinds of whatever stresses, pressures, depressions, loss, trauma, PTSD, ADHD, all of this shit, you know what I'm saying? And I've been carrying all of this shit by myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? My life is so compartmentalized. It's like, I have an Arizona life, I have a Brooklyn life, and I have a Long Island life. You know what I mean? And a couple other lives too, which, they're just not as prevalent, but it's like, and there's a boot camp life. That's a different life. You know what I'm saying? So, so when when I'm going through a low point, you know what I'm saying? I could be going through some shit. Like July 4th, Young Noble passes away, right? Shit breaks me in half, right? But my immediate circle, none of them know him. So I feel alone in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, salute, rest in peace to Forever Drama V, my cousin Drama V. This nigga passed, he got killed, right? A couple of years ago, he got killed. I was in Arizona when he got killed. He got killed in Brooklyn, right? I, I came back to New York for the services and all of that shit. I don't know, I'm not sure how long I stayed, but I went back to Arizona, and again, I'm away from the people who the people who know him. You know what I'm saying? Like my Arizona life, they don't know him. So if I express, if I show my emotions or my sadness, my hurt, all of that, it's like I'm just dumping that on them. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm changing the mood of my area. They don't have to go through that. So maybe they wouldn't mind, but I'm hesitant to put that on people. So
Right.
with all of this compartmentalization going on in my life, like, I go through a lot of these situations alone, even though I'm with people who love me. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like I've been lifting this shit for a long time, and, my friends, some my inner circle, they gently and lovingly, I wouldn't even say gently, but definitely lovingly urged that I do, that I go and try to get some help.
How difficult was it for you coming from the circumstances that you've come from, being a man and, coming from an environment that is all about machismo and, oftentimes as like little boys, we're taught that you're not allowed to share your feelings, talk about your feelings, you can't
Yeah. Yeah,
cry.
I didn't really have a problem with it, like, because you gotta remember, I made the song Therapy. That song was my idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wrote that song, Ruck followed my lead on that song, right? So, without knowing, I didn't know that I was foreshadowing then, but, like, I respect therapy, you know what I mean? Because, you know, we live in an environment, we live in a world where we are all aware that everybody's going through some shit. So it's like, you don't wanna, like, you could have, son, me and you could have been friends for 10 years right now, and if I'm going through some shit, I might not call you because in my mind, I already know you going through some shit. And that's what we all go through. We all had that.
You don't
And
want to burden other people with your problems.
right. You know what I'm saying? Cause so what better option than to somebody that's paid to listen to your problem? You know what I'm saying? And give you honest and unbiased feedback. You know what I mean? And Jim, it's their job to try to help you. I take that shot.
Mhm. Yeah. I think it's an inspiring thing for you to come out and talk about it though, because I think that a lot of times people, like you said, compartmentalize things in their life, right? And they don't realize though that what you resist will persist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we stuff things down, pause, and then it's just like you don't realize how it manifests in your life, that it creates certain personality traits, certain traumas, patterns, everything like
And
that.
actual and it manifests into physical pain too, like, your back hurt, you thinking you need to
Absolutely.
stress, nigga, no, you need to release some of that bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And we don't know, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm all for it, like, yeah, let's get to it. I would love to be a better version of myself. Who wouldn't? You know what I'm saying?
But I think it's great because, sometimes people are very prideful and they don't believe in asking for help or knowing that I've done all that I can at this point on my own. I need something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when your thoughts get dark too often, that's a sign. You know what I'm saying? Like a bit dark, and you know what I mean when I say dark, you know what I'm saying? Like that shit happen too often, it's time. You know what I mean? A lot of times it just helps to get the feelings out of your body in the form of words. You know what I'm saying? Just like that it could be like creation can be like that too. Like you could sit in there, it don't always gotta be bad, but the shit it can feel like like it's invading your space. Like you gotta get this shit out, pause. You know what I'm saying?
How much healing have you experienced with the birth of your daughter? Because you thought you never would become a parent. But, with you becoming a parent, and I'm sure you did a lot of reflecting on your life as a result because of it. How has that inspired you, changed you?
I mean, it's a driving force. I didn't have that before. I guess I did, but it wasn't that. It's like it's the most important thing. And it's like every decision I make, I know that she will directly or indirectly be affected by it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Um, I've never experienced a love like that. Like, separate thought. Like that love is ridiculous. Like that your kid love, especially from a father to a daughter, or a daughter to a father, or a son to his mother, except if you have a mean old mama like mine was. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a tender love. You know what I'm saying? Like my daughter, You know, she's such like I think she's very emotionally mature. Like she's so smart, like empathy and shit. Like she texts me to make sure I ate. She's 11. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember she was sick. I'm in the other room, like she's sick, she allergies or cold, whatever it was, I don't remember specifically, but she texts me to ask her, you know, she texts me to make her something to eat, right? She's like, "Daddy, can you make me a sandwich?" Or whatever. I'm like, "I got you. You know I got you," right? Boom. I start making the sandwich for her. Text come to my phone. I go get the phone. "Please make yourself a sandwich too. I don't think I saw you eat today." Like, she's she's on it like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, she's not fucking playing about her dad. You know what I mean? And, you know, anytime me and my daughter are in arm's reach, if we are in arm's reach of each other, we are probably going to hug each other. Like, it's like second nature. Like, you know, I never knew that. Like, I didn't have hugs from my moms. You know what I'm saying? Shit wasn't like that. But, you know, it's just a different energy. It's made me a more loving person. You know what I mean? And I was generally I've been on record as saying hip hop made me a way nicer person than, like I said, I started out, I was a good kid and all of that, but when the streets grabbed me, you know, all of that aggression, all of that machismo, all that thug shit or whatever, you know, I wasn't nice. You know what I'm saying? I was on bullshit. Right.
Well,
But then,
you said in the past that like you know when you were younger, when you were quiet, you had a lot of violent thoughts, right?
yeah, hell yeah. Like the lyrics in therapy were absolute truth. All I seem to think about is violence. It doesn't matter if I'm dead, sober, or a bent. It's strange. I'm not insane, or at least I don't think so. Where am I? You think so, Doc? Truthfully, none of that was an exaggeration. Only exaggeration is the fact that Ruck wasn't really a doctor. That's it. Everything. You know what I'm saying? So what do? I go to my crew and ask for help, but they get no help. They go through the same shit they damn self. Look deep into a mind of a crook, and I know where I envision two right hooks. Damn, again goes this shit. I can't get out of this cycle. This one got me with on the thought of a brain bash that stopped me. You know, I mean, who knows why or how it got there, but that was what it was. You know what I'm saying? That was what I thought. Maybe the images on the TV was violent or whatever the fuck it was, but that was how I thought.
How did the parenting that you did receive or lack of their parenting from your dad not being around impact you as a parent?
Well, you know, I mean, it was, you know, I had a, I saw a lot in between. You know what I mean? I had a baby at, you know, when I was 40. So was a late parent and all that. And I was, you know, way more calmer, way more tolerant, more, you know, I know how to sit my ass down, shit like that, you know. And I feel like patience has always been one of my strong points. So, you know, I was kind of designed for it. But, you know, like I didn't really have that much to go off of from my father. You know, I just knew I didn't want to be violent towards my daughter or her mother. You know what I mean? So, you know, roll with that. You know what I mean?
But did you find like some form of healing for your inner child or anything like that because of like you got to provide for your daughter what you didn't have?
I don't know. Like I don't really have conversations with my inner child, bro. Like I haven't gotten there yet.
Mm, most definitely, man. All right, Rock. Man, I just want to thank you so much for your time, bro. Is there anything else you want to say to the people before we go ahead and wrap it up?
Yeah, just this I mean, we covered everything, but I just want them to be mindful and remember all of the future endeavors. You know what I'm saying? We got M3, we got the RJ Payne album that is less than halfway done. We got the J Roll, the Rock and Roll album that's less than halfway done. But we got a lot of shit that y'all will be hearing before those get done. Is the Barman starts next month. So just be on the lookout. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to change the frequency in more ways than one.
Most definitely. And we looking forward to that new Heltah Skeltah album.
Yes. I don't have a title for it yet, but yeah, new Heltah Skeltah album, new rock albums, compilation albums, or not collab albums. That's what I meant.
Right.
Yeah, so M3, the man, the myth, the monster. Even if you steal my name, niggas is gonna know you stole it from me, so don't steal my name.